Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this week's chat. You know when you're like, oh, I'm all ready to go. This is great. I've got my cup of tea. I've got everything. I'm going to play with my camera and my lighting and do everything. Only to realize that I forgot to set up my Social Stream Ninja. So please bear with me while I do that. So all the duets and the princesses, they're not going to work. Not until I get this set up, and I'm not even signed into it. So now I've got to sign in with a new session, and it's just like, oh, what a drama. Anyway, let me know in the chat, how are you all going? Have you been getting your content out? Have you been making videos? Are you getting ready to upload something? Let me know in the chat while I do the thing I should have done instead of standing out in the living room chatting with my husband for, about polyfill, fiber fill for blankets and, all that sort of stuff. Totally lost track of time, was just having a good old chin wag, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is when I should have been doing something else. Let me tell you. Yeah, absolutely. Slacker is right. So bear with me while I do this. I mean, it doesn't help, right, that I've got, I have to go and find the password because I use a password manager, and so it's not even just that easy. It's only a hobby. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah. Well, I still like to have a level of professionalism, which we have not hit today. So there is that. Okay, let's activate the source. Let's grab that. Okay. Now, also, my cat is on a psycho rampage. I don't know why. He's in a mood. He's in a legit mood. Work that checklist. Yeah, absolutely, Doug. All right, okay, it's all up and running now. Thanks, everybody. Doug's comments come through, so hopefully all the things will work. I just had my priorities wrong this morning. That's all. I've definitely got to. Part of it is I believe it or not, I actually got up extra early today. Abby is off on another adventure, so. Had to go and, oh, there we go. Thank you. You guys are champions for testing all the things. That's so good. So yeah, Abby's off on another adventure, so I had to get up and early to see her off this morning. So, so she's already hit another state. So she's in the car, she's off, she's driving. So, Mama Bear is a little nervous today. She's going to be fine. She's done it before. Tea. So, in answer to my question here, Doug's written here that he's mostly been doing bite-sized content for the past week or two. Yeah. Well, and do you know what? Sometimes that's what you need to do. I've been working on an edit, and it's a bit. So it's an edit from my Fiberific live stream. So it's over for Fiberific, and it's about the cost of materials that are going up and the uncertainty in the supply chain for the crafting industry. And it's quite interesting because since I put my video out, well, not since, but not because of, but after that, I've noticed a lot of other people in that network have been putting out content. So in different craft niches, but one lady was talking about in the fabric niche, how a lot of the fabrics that go into the US are from India, which I didn't even think of, but and India has a 50% tariff. And it made me sort of think, okay, so if there's fabrics from India and they're getting a 50% tariff, what happens with all the technology that we use for live streaming, right? So, like right now, I don't need any gear. I'm really set. I'm really happy with my setup. So for many years, I always had this list of things that I would upgrade to, or I would get that next, I would do this. And there's nothing on that list. So basically now is if something dies, do I replace it? And that's basically where I'm at now. And it felt like that was such a long journey to get to this point of, you know what, I actually don't need anything else. And even when it comes to things like, phones and technology and all that, and my Stream Deck even, because I know there's always this new iteration of the Stream Deck. I've still got the old 15 key Mark 1 that doesn't have the USB-C plug. you know, so, and it still works. But I'm also like pretty keen about the apps. So like, and because I've got an iPad and I have extra iPhones lying around and my Android phone, I can use the Stream Deck app. And I actually like, because my eyes are not the greatest, I love being able to put it on my iPad and being able to make those buttons big so that I can actually put slightly meaningful names on the Stream Deck keys, because I've got Stream Deck buttons for lots of different things. So I've got the editing stuff and I've got the live stream stuff and I've got, you know, like for changing things, but then I've also got things for like just like hotkeys and shortcuts and things like that to be able to add in text. So it's been one of those sort of you know, like for a really long time, I wanted a Stream Deck and I didn't get one for ages. And then I got one and it was just like, oh, am I really going to use it for enough stuff? Because that's really what it thinks. That's really one of those things where you're like, oh, do I really need it? You know, like how many times have we looked at our gear and I'm like, do we really need it, or are we just doing this because gear is fun? And I realized the gear I have around me now, like, you know what? The one thing that's probably overkill is maybe my Rodecaster. But I love that thing and I use it like every day. Is it overkill? Yes. Could I have gone for the half size one? Probably. Did I? No, I didn't. I was future proofing. And that's it. That's about the only thing. I'm sort of looking around my desk here and I think there is one more thing that I think I would like, and it's more just for like ease of use of connections. And so that is, I run these live streams off a Mac Mini M1 16 gigabit box, right? Now, I did notice when I was doing some editing for a client that it was not doing awesome with some of the editing. So I was actually like unplugging things and plugging them into my MacBook Pro and editing off the MacBook Pro. And for ease of that, being able to switch and connect, I actually think I would like another OWC hub. I love the OWC. I know they're expensive, but I love this thing and I've not had any issues with it. And I also love that I can actually daisy chain other hubs off it without any drama. So I've still got a Ugreen, like 2 Ugreen hubs plugged into that. But if I could just connect like 2 or 3 plugs, like 2 monitors and a couple of hub plugs, and have everything be able to switch from my Mac Mini into my MacBook Pro at like lightning speed, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. And so that's probably it. Now let's have a look here. Russell's saying that, because Russell's decking out a second studio, which I absolutely love. So he's got purpose-built studios for different things, and that is awesome. He's busy with his 30-day Mind Your Money challenge, plus building the webinar launch from scratch. Fantastic. October 1's coming so fast. A complete rerun through BBD, building my offer doc and my messaging library. That is so good. And he just bought a second Zoom Pod Track P4 for Studio 2 and a new Stream Deck. Because this is the thing, you know, you love the Zoom Pod Tracks. You know them, you're used to them, they work, they do the job, they're a workhorse, and you love your Stream Deck. And so rather than having to unplug it and move it, and, you know, because you've decked that out now, it's got its own secret lab chair. It's, you know, you're making it so that each workspace is purposely built. And we talk about this in the crafting world as well. If you can make a purposefully built crafting space, you become more streamlined. And it's the same here. If you can make workstations, it can become more streamlined. Like, so for me, because I have this space and I have to use it for everything, one of the ways that I have been able to sort of create a different feeling to the workspace is that I use Arc. So for my browser, I use Arc, and I'm sure you can probably do this with other browsers, but this is the one I use. And you can create separate tabs for separate work groups. Are they called spaces? They're probably called spaces. Add. Yeah, they're called spaces. So you can create these extra spaces. So when I'm doing work for one client, all their tabs are here and they're closed. It's like the menu bar across. So if you're logged into a different account, and you can have different bookmarks. So it's like different bookmarks, but they're down the left-hand side, which it doesn't, yeah, groups in Chrome, says Doug. It's the same sort of thing. And so I can just switch to that tab. I have it set as a different color. I have everything about it different. So my brain switches to that client. Then when I finish with that one, I fill out its timesheet. Then I move into the next one and I'd start doing the work in there. And that makes it so I can have like virtual spaces. So because I don't have the ability to have those multiple workstations for my different, things, because I've utilized my extra space. I do have one extra space, but I've utilized that for craft. So I can have craft space and computer space. So being able to have like a different kind of spaces, whether they're virtual or physical, to be able to help you work better is such an amazing thing. And I know not everyone has that, can do that. But there's different ways that you can, because, I don't have the physical space. So I had to go jiggery pokery and work that out. Live stream consultant says, at least you have backups for the backups. Absolutely. If you've been on this channel before or you know anything about me at all, I get stressed out to the max if I don't have a backup for something. It may not be as good, it may not be as awesome, but it works. So I have backups for my lights, I have backups for my cables, I have backups for my audio. I've actually got 2 different mics connected and ready to go. This one here, I can actually just unplug it straight from the Rodecaster and jam it straight into my computer if the Rodecaster goes down. So there's lots of different things. So I love being able to have that. And I know, again, not everybody can do that. But how I've managed to do that on a budget is over time, as I've realized a different piece of equipment would suit my needs better, I've saved up for that piece of equipment, bought it, but then not gotten rid of the other one. I haven't waited till it's dead. Now, every now and again, you don't have that option. Like I've had phones just brick themselves and it's like, well, I'm going phone shopping today. Whereas I prefer it when I can utilize my phones for something else. Like we've got the phone here for Louis Cam and different things. So I like being able to have that. It's a luxury. Absolutely it is. But it's a luxury that I think really makes it so I can continue working in a way that keeps my brain happy. I don't know if that makes any sense. You mean the glasses are not from... No, I'm legit can't see properly. And as a matter of fact, I have to go to the optometrist because these are not good enough anymore. Now, my arms are getting too short even with my glasses on. Livestream consultant says, I buy different kinds of mics because every voice is different and being able to match a mic to a voice is important. The only thing I still need is a Sony A7S. Oh, that's awesome. Because that's the thing, like you have to think about your use case. Like, so for you livestream consultants, you're having multiple guests come through and you're running their streams for them. So you have to have different gear. You've got to have different mics because that's the tools that you need in your toolbox. It's like the difference between a cabinet maker and a house builder. Yes, they're both using a hammer to build something, but they need different tools and to use those tools slightly differently to create the product that they're building. Let's have a look here. Russell says, actually pulled my remaining hair out trying to get my Rode Video Micro to work in Studio 2. Pod track with a Rode VXLR Plus was the only thing that worked and worked really well. Is that the plug? Is that the... I don't know what it's called. Actually, I think I've got it hanging out the back of my bed. Is that this? Oh yeah, VXLR Plus. Yeah, I do that as well. I connect my my dongle for my wireless. We've done it here in a live stream before. Testing out the different brands of wireless in the Rodes in the Rodecaster, because the Rodecaster will connect the Rode mics, but not the Holy Land or the old school Rode. You guys know the one I mean. The old school Rode wireless mics, the one with the big belt pack. Still got that. It still works. Livestream consultant says, I've been lucky and I've only had one phone brick me in 15 years. I've only had it happen twice. Well, I had one phone get bricked and I had one phone get literally destroyed by a cat. It was the old, it's a while ago, it's the old Motorola flip phone. And stupid me had it closed on the edge of a dining table. I don't know what I was thinking. Cat decided no, and she literally yeeted it across the room. and it hit a wall and snapped in two. So the actual flip bit broke and all the wires and connectors just ripped apart. So she must have had it with, you know, oh, hello. Speaking of cats, you're right. Thanks. He's unhappy with me because I have put the curtain down and blocked the sunshine. Anyway, so yeah, so she destroyed it. So that was two phones in sort of the last 10 years. But I've also had things, I had a tablet die, like little things like that. Sometimes stuff just goes. Russell says, now I have a full backup studio, bought a second Insta360 link for the studio too as a primary camera. I have a spare Canon M50 Mark II, which I may also add. Fantastic. That sounds like a really great setup. Yeah, look, yeah, that's the thing. They do use a lot of the same tools. And that's kind of my point. You and I use a lot of the same tools, but we use them differently. So like I use my mics, but I only need mics for me. You need extra mics for other people. So we're both still live streaming. So we're both still working with wood. But, you know, and we're both still building something, but we have to use our tools slightly differently to get the outcome. But yeah, now I'm gonna have some tea while I have a look here. Now, we've got, like Doug was saying on his stream on Saturday night, we've got YouTube's Made on YouTube coming up. So it's either like, I always get the time zone thing messed up. It's like, you think I'd have that down pat by now, but so it should be happening in the next day or two. I'm thinking Monday for the US, not Monday for me. So yeah. Good morning, Amazing Yacht Destination. So great to see you. Russell says, I can have Studio 2 up as a second presenter in anything live. So if I have some primary failure, I can just walk down the hall. I love that. That's so good. I think that's great. I should have had an old Motorola brick phone, would have required a sledgehammer to break. Yeah. No, but, and I think it was like the only flip phone I ever had. Because I was like, this is so cool. This is so fun. And then the cat literally smashed it. And I'm like, I think after that I got a HTC. So it was my first kind of smartphone. The HTCs, were they considered smartphones? I think it was a smartphone. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But yes. And like with all this talk of like, you know, all the Apple stuff dropping, and I've had people like, oh, what are you going to get? Are you going to get anything new? And I'm like, look, the only thing that really, yeah, it was a razor. It was a razor. You're absolutely right. Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking of down the track is as my earbud, because I've still got my Samsung earbuds. So when they die, I'll probably change those over to the new Apple Pro earbuds. Maybe. That's about where I'm at. That's about where I'm at. I am looking at my Mac Mini thinking, all right, you're a 2020 piece of tech and you don't like it when I edit with some softwares, you get a bit janky. Maybe I've started saving for a replacement. I'm not going to buy one yet, but I've started saving for the replacement of that. But at the same time, I was also really happy with how easy it was just to switch to the MacBook Pro. So I'm like, what are the chances of them both dying? Let's not put that into the universe. Let's not put that into the universe at all. Okay, just realized. Oh, I'm thinking, where is a black coffee cup? I don't have a black coffee cup. It's my Yeti. Cool. Because I changed my camera around and everything this morning, so I wasn't happy with where it was, and it was like, anyway, we'll see if this works any better. I don't know. I've got to do something with it. I'm like watching it and it's a bit precarious, but we'll see how that goes. Let's have a look here. Both on battery backup and solar generator, so about 2 hours before I need to gas the generator. I'm loving this. I love it. I love how, like, this is an awesome setup, and especially because this is how your business runs. Without this stuff, your business doesn't run. And you know that, so you've really put the effort and the time into working out to how to make sure that it does not fail. And I love that. I love that. The only thing really lacking is a really good standby satellite source for internet connection. I can use wireless, but in a major storm that might go out too. Possibly. Consider the Shure SE2115 Pro wired earbuds. See, and this is the thing, the earbuds that I'm looking at, I don't want them for this setup. These are just for me to walk around the house and stuff in. So I want noise cancelling and stuff like that. So it's not for this setup. It's just for personal use. I don't use my earbuds in the studio. I have wired earbuds that I use in the studio. This is just this is other stuff. So, but yeah. Maybe a Starlink subscription in the future. Look, I got a girlfriend here in Australia. She had awful internet. Like her NBN internet was just terrible. It actually meant that she had to stop uploading because the quality actually went down and she could no longer upload. Like a 5-minute video was taking her, she would have to drive to a friend's house and leave her computer running there overnight. And it was still like the uploads are still failing. She had to stop uploading because of just the internet. And then they had a big discussion amongst their household and they eventually got the Starlink and she's back on track again. And so I think in some situations, the Starlink is a really great option. You really just have to think about, is it going to do what you need it to do? So yeah, that's really all you can sort of work out. And I think, is that the only real internet, the only real internet, like that's because Starlink's a satellite option, right? Like don't get me wrong, I'm not 100% certain. I personally haven't used it, but it is a satellite option. And so yeah, it's one of those sort of, like, it's actually like for satellite, it doesn't seem that expensive. Do you know what I mean? But Russell, do you? I thought you already had 2 different providers providing your internet into your building. So would you get rid of one of those for the Starlink, or would you keep all 3? Have you seen the new Boya wireless mics? If you did, what do you think of? I haven't seen them. I'll have a look out for them, and I'll let you know what I think. So far, I've been pretty happy with the wireless, with the wired Boya mics. I've never tried any of their wireless. When I was looking at the wireless mics, I had a look at I think it was their older wireless Boya mics, and their pricing was good, but I couldn't really find anyone that I knew of that had used it. So I couldn't really get like a feel for it. So I went with the Holyland. I've got another friend who she's gone with the Rode. She loves those Rodes. Doug's got the Rode. He loves the Rode. And I nearly went with the Rode because it would have been so much easier connected to my system. And to use the Rode app. And I kind of I forgot about that for a second, that I could have used the Rode app with the front and back camera and actually done live interviews just on a phone. But I can still record with the Rode, with the Holylands. And the reality is, would I actually do the recordings? I don't know. So, okay. All right. I understand now. So I'm just a bit out of date. All right. So that's cool. Live stream consultant says, I'm in the same boat. The internet access, other cellular, which is not great, but I hear that the DSL is 3 down and 2 up, which is virtually unusable. Absolutely it is. I'm actually expecting today at some point my internet to get better here. So yeah, I am expecting it to get better. So basically, sorry, I just got a text message from Abby and I was just double checking she was okay. Sorry, Mama Bear just went, Eileen Smith, it's so good to see you. Thanks for jumping in before you hit bed. What was I saying? Oh, my internet here. So I've been notified that that today I'll be getting better internet. So mine will be going, mine's currently 100 down and 40 up. And the plan is the same plan in the same cost, but it will becoming $250 down and $100 up. So that is like, what more could I ask for? Really, that's exactly what I've been complaining about and wanting for however long. So I cannot wait to see it happen, but it hasn't happened as yet. So like we know, because my husband's working from home today, and we both noticed that it was like a little unstable. So we're both plugged in wired today, just in case. So if I do drop out, it could be something to do with that. And that would mean my internet is out. But I've got my phone here, so I should be able to, it's hotspotted to the computer as well, just in case. Yeah, backups. So we'll see. And like it's like one of those things. You remember, like how I said I had that list of all these different things that I really wanted to have, like the dream setup. And now over the years, I've managed to tick everything off, and I'm super happy with how everything is. And now it's just a case of replacements. The same thing with the internet. Like when I first started live streaming here, my internet was, I think it was 8 down and 2 or 3 up. And I was told you can't live stream without 5 megabits per second upload. You just can't. And I'm just like, well, I mean, other Australian people live stream. Surely I must be able to. And I had to not stream at 1080, and I streamed at 720, and like little things. And I used OBS, so I was able to drop down my bitrate on my stream and things like that. So there were things I could do. To make it how I want. And now it's just like over the last couple of years, especially with the internet here. So I would say, when did NBN force us onto their evil plans? Because I waited till they absolutely forced me, because I'd been hearing horror stories. But yeah, so fairly recently, like in the last sort of 5 years or so, when I moved over, because we ended up getting cable internet here, and that made a big difference. And so I was like really happy with the cable, so I didn't want to move off the cable. But yeah, I'm happy, and being able to get this better internet at the same plan. That it's not a cheap plan, but they're not putting the price up on it, at least not this month anyway. Livestream consultant says, on the AT&T cellular, I have half down and half up, as it's prime time here on the cell tower. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is like these downloads and uploads they give us, that's like at the best possible time. So like, and luckily for me, during the day in this area is pretty quiet. So this is probably, except for when my husband's working from home, this is the best time for me because of internet speeds, is through the daytime, like through school hours. Like everyone's at work, everyone's at school, because it's a residential zone. And so, I've got my internet. Whereas at night, when more people are at home, you've got a lot more people streaming their TV now. Like for us here, we can barely pick up a free-to-air signal. There's so much distortion on it now that we actually tend to just hit their apps now, because like it's just so awful trying to pick up the terrestrial signals, even though they're digital signals. There must be, like, we've been told that like there was a massive new development that was built, and it has actually blocked our physical line of sight, which I didn't think was going to be an issue now. I thought that was kind of the point, but anyway, makes a difference. And we need to get someone to come out and actually raise the height of our antenna and re-aim it, which we just haven't done, because we're just using the digital, we just use their digital services. So we're probably not the only house in the area that's having that same problem. So lots of people using their internet at night. So when me for streaming at night has always been less chance that I would multi-stream across, because like right now I'm streaming across both YouTube and LinkedIn. I would probably drop LinkedIn, like in all fairness, I would, because it doesn't, we don't get many chatters from LinkedIn. But also, as a matter of fact, I just realized that I didn't connect them to the Social Stream Ninja either. So sorry about that. So if you are chatting, I don't know. Uh, oh dear. Let's have a look here. Oh, Abby is shopping. So Abby's big goal is she wants to collect all of those, the patches that when people travel around, they can get a patch to put on a jacket or something. Well, she's been attaching them to the roof lining of her car, like not just with Velcro. They're not permanently attached, but so now there's places she wants to hit again because she didn't know she could get a patch. Now she has to go back and get patches. Oh my gosh, Russell says I get 100 megabits down and 20 up from Starlink in Florida for about $80 a month. It's not worth it yet, but it would work even if the wireless system was rendered useless. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. It's like insurance policies. You've got to kind of think about it. Now, so my internet here that I'm currently paying 100 down and 40 up is 109 Australian a month, which is about, I'd say that's probably around the 80, 75, 80 US dollars. So I suppose I look at that and think that's not bad, but I don't know, like what's a usual, like, standard internet cost, like, that's not satellite, like I don't know what I'm comparing it to for you. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't know. Like, let us know in the chat, like, if you're willing to share, what is your upload and download speeds that you're working with for your YouTube and internet business? Because it's always very curious, like, because for a long time in Australia I was just so grumpy that we're trying to compete on a worldwide stage and yet our internet wasn't up to it. Let's have a look here. So your AT&T is $98 a month and it's 1,000 up and down. Oh yeah, I can see why you feel that. Thank you for that comparison too. I appreciate that. I can see why you feel like that's not worth it. I really do. It's like it's nearly the same money for nowhere near the same level of of speeds, but it is an insurance policy. So I don't know. I don't know if that, yeah. So that's about the same price I've researched for New Mexico, price wise and speed wise. Okay. So, because I don't know what Claire's got, I'd have to ask her. Because maybe that's their sort of standard, 100 down, 20 up. It's like it gives people, obviously it's better than whatever their alternative is, or otherwise they wouldn't go with it. But yeah, I don't know. And I know, like, not everybody's a creator and needs to run a business. Some people are just getting Starlink so they can just watch Netflix because their internet's so bad. They can just get their email and they can scroll Facebook and that's all that they could do. Amazing yacht destination. Are you still in Thailand, just out of curiosity? So it's 500 up and 500 down and the cost is 24 US dollars. Seriously? That's really good. I'm a bit jealous, to be honest. Bit jelly. But that's really good. That's a great price and great speeds as well. So and is it stable is the question. Is it stable? So yeah, you're still in Thailand, yep. Yeah, good point. Good point. Because you don't want some of these disruptions disrupting your business. Because a lot of these, because you don't have physical stock, a lot of these disruptions you can get around as long as you can still get your message out. So yeah, I don't know. I personally, if I was in a position where it was truly a viable option and I could afford that second connection, I'd be paying it. Like, is it like a month to month and you can cancel whenever you want? So when things stabilize and you feel like you don't need that level of backup anymore, that you'll be fine, or if you got to like commit for like 2 years or something, like let me know. But yeah, like, cause it's tricky. It's hard, like not fear mongering, not going overboard, but still protecting yourself, your business and your clients from all the changes that are happening around. Like I know of a lot of craft businesses in the US. I've got friends who own craft stores and they are not sure they're going to be able to keep going, just because the cost of living crisis that's happening, like, you know, people, like groceries are going up, right? Your cost of your groceries, your power, everything's going up. And then, but craft is a hobby and it's not a necessity of life, technically. For some of us, if we can't craft, we basically go insane. So, but yeah, it's just one of these things where it is luxury money. You can decide not to spend that and your family won't starve. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so because it is a luxury industry, they do tend to be the first ones that go when things get a little bit uncertain. A live stream consultant says, since I'm on a cellular with AT&T and I have 5 lines and unlimited data, I'm spending around $350 a month. If I switch to Starlink, it would not lower my cell bill, just add to it. Tim, can you call Abby for me and just let her know that I'm live streaming? Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I thought I had my phone on silent. But even if I did, I do. Abby's one of the breakthroughs. So she would break through no matter what. Okay. Thanks, Tim. It is month to month, but it's like a generator when a hurricane is coming. It's too late then. Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. I'm not talking about like wait until it crashes and burns before you get it. I'm just thinking get it now-ish. Sort of get it now or soon, and then hold it until things stabilize and then cut it off. That's what I was thinking. At peak times, I still get at least 250 up, and I've had to move my desk, and I need to upgrade the network cable as the cable that is long enough is only 100 megabits. Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like we all like, oh, we need faster this and faster that. Can our devices deal it? Can our devices deal with it? Like, you know, do you have the ability to run like gigabit information through your cables and devices? So like if we're future proofing things, are we considering that? So yeah, you're right, there is an upfront cost for Starlink. But it also, like, you keep an eye on it, like, because my friend was able to get it and they were having a sale and there was no upfront cost. She got the pack with the thing and everything for nothing, and she connected and just pays the month to month. So there is that. But I think otherwise in Australia, I believe it was like $350. I think it was $350. So I don't know what that would come. I don't know what it would be in the US, but she didn't end up paying that. Oh, it is. Oh, it's $350 for you as well. Maybe it's $500 here. I'm going to Google it. Starlink costs, because maybe I was thinking US dollars. Starlink setup. Costs. I should write costs. Cost. Starlink setup cost. It's $5.99 or $5.49. Plus a shipping fee. And the residential service plan fee in Australia is $139. So yeah, but she didn't end up having to pay. Like it was a deal that was on. So keep an eye out. You might be able to just sort that out. There's scammers out there claiming to sell unlimited plans. Oh, it's like everything, right? It's too good to be true. Another consideration is residential versus business. I've got business plans here. I found that it was a better option for me. It also meant that if my service goes down, I do get a priority on getting my service back up. And if I've got issues, I've got a different phone line to call, so I go through faster. And it's not that much more expensive than because I've basically got the lowest of business plans. But yeah, I found that the business plan option was the way to go for me. But it's definitely worth checking into. Like obviously in Australia you have to have an ABN to be able to set up for that. don't know what the rules would be in the USA to be able to prove that you're a business and not just a residential trying to score yourself a better plan. But yeah, so here I had to just have an ABN, which is also very easy to set up. Let me just be honest. So yeah, but definitely worth looking into, because sometimes their business plans offer better back end support, rather than like you don't necessarily get a better month to month, but you definitely get better back end. But yeah, isn't it interesting? Amazon's Amazing Yacht Destination says, I wish Starlink was legal in Thailand. The government still won't give it a license. Yeah, there's a few countries that won't allow Starlink, right? Like they're not alone. I'm just, which countries don't have Starlink? China, Russia, Belarus, Syria, Afghanistan, Iran, and North Korea. Others like PNG currently still ban it, but are considering it in the future. India and Bangladesh. I don't see Thailand on the list. No, it wasn't on that list. But when you type in "Can I get Starlink in Thailand?" it says no. Is it one of those things like, because there's some countries that don't allow? Yeah, I agree. Livestream consultants. It surprised me that you couldn't get it in PNG. Is there some countries that don't? I mean, I don't really understand why they wouldn't allow it as such. I suppose it's one of those things of, do we want to have little satellites planted over our continent? You know, we probably wouldn't. There'd be countries whose satellites, we probably would say no to over our countries as well. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Sorry, I was just reading. I shouldn't do that. But close the tab. Close the tab. Yeah, Thailand now, South Africa won't allow the sale of units, because like I know that South Africa is funny, because there needs to be like they've got rules in place about company ownerships and things like that to work in South Africa. But I don't know about Thailand. Maybe Thailand's got the same thing. You know when you have that feeling like something just walked on you? Like, sorry, I felt like a spider walked on my leg. That's why I freaked out. It wasn't. There was nothing there. Don't know what that was. Very weird. I could get a T-Mobile data only plan for $30 a month for a 10 gig limit. Is that 10 gigs? Oh, is that 10, like just 10 gigs to use however, whenever you want, and that just when you use up that 10 gig, you can just grab another 10 gig? But is that not just the same issue? Like, it's just another terrestrial plan. So it's not like it's sorry, it's just like AT&T as such. Like, I'm trying to think, like, here we've got different cellular companies, but they're also like our landline companies and our internet companies, and like it's probably the same over there. Because we can get data only mobile plans, but if the mobile towers go out for whatever reason, isn't that still exactly the same problem? Oh yeah, thank you, Russell. It is off a cell tower. Thank you. Livestream consultant says the satellites already fly over them, but it's the ground stations that are required as well. Yep. No country can control what satellites are over, but they can control their citizens' access to that by prohibiting. Okay, all right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's the frequency of the Earth. Thailand is about to censorship of certain. Is there a risk of Thailand banning YouTube? Because there's a lot of YouTube creators up and moving to Thailand. And like that would kind of suck if they can't get access to like the webs to YouTube, or to like, you know, where their community are, like say a Discord or something like that. If those are the sorts of websites. Doug, I don't think it was a cable because of where it was. There's no cables there, but that's why I'm like this. It's like empty airspace, and I felt something run across the back of my leg. But it could be a dangly thread on the bottom of my pants. I don't know. I don't know. Now my brain is like, there's something under your desk. Like kicking things, seeing the stuff moves. No, I don't know. I mean, it could have been. It could have been. He's pretty stealthy. Let's go with that. That my brain just calmed down instantly when I thought, oh, it could have been the cat. Thank you. Man, I don't like bugs. I don't like it. It's about control. If the internet is terrestrial, the government can pull the proverbial plug. Yeah, it really is. Wallace, good to see you here. Oh, thank you. No, I don't think YouTube's at risk. It is gambling and adult sites that are totally blocked in Thailand. Okay, that I can see why they would block those. But yeah, it's you know, it's at least YouTube's not at risk, right? Because like you sort of think about the Niman brothers and a couple of the others that are all over there that are based on that live in Thailand, and you know, because like seriously, look at that internet cost. That price was just really good. Like you can sort of see why people are moving over there, right? For cost of living. I've heard stories of Australian retirees actually moving to Thailand to retire because they can sell their house here, have all that money in their savings, because I think they've got to prove that they can support themselves over there, so they can have all that in their accounts, come over, and it will last something like 10 or 15 years longer in Thailand than it would in Australia. And then when they get to a certain point, then they come back for, you know, be near family and stuff like that. But I've been hearing stories of people like having 20 years in Thailand for the cost of living of 5 years in Australia. And comfortable living in Thailand as well, not just, you know, making ends meet, but actual comfortable quality of life living. So yeah, I get it. I see it. I don't know if I'd want to do it. I'd like to come and visit though, for sure. Not even a second thought about that. Definitely want to come and visit. I've got a few friends who live there now, and you're just like, I would love to come and check it out. Why you think it's so amazing? But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like Australia. I do. I don't know what else to say about that, really. There's lots of places I want to visit. Speaking of visiting things, let me know in the chat if you are planning on going to Vid Summit. I'm getting a little bit of FOMO. I've really tried hard to keep it in check this year, because I did get to go last year, which was such the best experience, honestly. I don't know the answer to that question, Russell. I have no idea. But yeah, I had such a good time last year, and I was so grateful to be able to go at all. I honestly, and I think, you know, if you guys were around last year, you probably heard me say it. When they first told me, like when they first said, hey, do you have a passport? Can you come over? I didn't really, I seriously thought they were going to look at the cost of bringing me over and just go, you know what, we've changed our minds. I didn't tell anybody other than my immediate family for ages because I honestly didn't think I was really going to be able to go. I honestly thought they would look at the numbers and go, you know what, this is actually not the best decision. So, you know, I can't blame them for making that decision this year. But yeah, it was still such a fun thing. I thought you said you were stuck in a room and worked. I was stuck not so much in a room, but I had a station that I manned. But I still got to talk to so many amazing people, and at dinner times, and you know, running around and getting. I didn't get to experience much of the USA as such because I was at the conference center and in that sort of precinct. So I didn't get to experience much of the USA at all, really. However, I did get to meet so many amazing creators. And I really, really loved that experience, and I'd love to do that again. But I also understand why I'm not. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Well, you get another shot at the cowgirl hat. I don't know why that was. I don't know why that was held. I've let it go through. Yeah, I will eventually. I don't think it's going to be something I buy for myself. Honestly, I like caps. I don't wear big hats very often, which is hilarious considering in Australia you really should wear big hats. But yeah, it was. I loved it. I really did love it. I thought it was just such an experience. It was such an experience. But so let me know in the chat if you are planning on going this year or in future years. Oh, okay. So yeah, live stream consultant says that's a better option. I wonder why these things are being blocked. I'm going to have to ship one to her, one of those journalist phone ones you see at the football games. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Amazing Yacht Destination says, I love Thailand, but living in Australia would have been way better for my personal situation at the moment. Yep, I see that. Live stream, brand name, consultant. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Amazing Yacht Destination says that he's still planning to go to Vid Summit one day. I just think it's one of those like amazing events, and it's still on my wish list. Like I want to definitely go again. I've been once now. It's one of those things, right? You've done it once and you're like, Now that because I had a lot of fear. There was so much fear going in because of the actual travel. Because I'd never done a long haul flight before. I was so worried how my body would go in that situation. I was so worried about it. And so that sort of, I think that nearly took away some of the excitement of going because I was just so worried about how I was physically going to cope with like a long haul flight. Works out I can do it. A bit uncomfortable, but not unbearable. And I was still able to hit the ground running on the other end because that was my concern. They're going to pay for me to come all the way over and I'm going to be just a splodge, like unable to form a coherent sentence for a couple of days because of jet lag. Because that's the other thing. I'd never had proper jet lag before. And so I was so worried about all this sort of aspect of it and then it didn't happen. Now I did get jet lag, but I was able to deal with it pretty well over there. But when I got home, totally different story. Like what's the difference between getting the jet lag going over and the jet lag coming back? Because I was down for days. I just bought a straw one for walking around the community on sunny days, $60 and a bargain at that price. I'm all for hats. Get yourself a good hat. Protect your face, protect your eyes, protect your skin. Absolutely. Doug says that he's bummed that he can't make it this year. Me too. Great place to visit for a few months. Asia and the Philippines as well. Livestream consultant says, I'm not going this year, but next year as I am busy trying to get everything set up here dollar-wise. It was a tough choice to make as I really wanted to go to. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But yeah, sometimes we just have to make the decision. Oh, you found the same thing, Doug? Coming back hits you harder? Yeah, because like it is technically slightly a longer flight, but like I'm talking an hour or two. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, and Russell's right. It could be as simple as this: that going over, you're pumped and like to do it, and then coming back, it catches all up with you. Because a similar thing used to happen when I went down to Bendigo. I would have like the big lead up and making all the stock and getting everything already. So I was already tired. Then driving for 2 days to get there, doing the 4-day sales event, then driving the 2 days home. I was just a mess for like weeks after it. Whereas I managed to get through. Sad to hear. I was hoping to see your coverage of VidSummit. Yeah, it's just, sometimes we just can't do it. In saying that, the Aussie airfares to Dallas right now are insanely cheap. Like, it is literally half of the price for the same flight that I did last year. So last year, the Brisbane to Sydney to Dallas, so on Qantas economy, you know, cheapest seat, but on a direct-ish flight, 3,500 return, right? Australian dollars. Just seen the exact same flight, the same route, and then they've actually upgraded the plane. So we were on the Dreamliners, and now it's on the A380s. A380s, I think. $1,600 return, or 17 return. And I'm just sort of sitting there just thinking, oh my gosh. So it's so much cheaper. It's ridiculously so much cheaper. But still. 2019, I landed with a cold and was all sniffly. In 2023 and 2024, I was just generally tired. Yeah. It has a little to do with your circadian rhythms and time zones. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot that it sort of, there's a lot that come into it. There's a lot that come into it. It is a month later. Does that really play that much of it? I suppose I was looking at the airfares last year to get an idea of what they were going to be for this year when I thought I was going to be going again. And they were still similar prices, even though it was a month later. But they've just really, like, it was a sale that I was looking at. But yeah. Back when growing my YouTube channel to a profitable business, VidSummit interested me. Now it's all BBD. Yep, fair enough. Going, it's the same day. Coming back, you lose a day. Yeah, time zone wise, definitely. It's a bit bizarre. It's like, oh, I left on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. and I arrived in Dallas at 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. Whereas going back, it is you leave on Sunday and you arrive on Tuesday. Yeah. I don't know, does that mentally mess with you as well? I don't really know. There'd be some very interesting psychology. Very interesting psychology behind it, I reckon. You know when you forget that there's someone else in the house and then all of a sudden there's like a noise and you're like, what was that? What was that noise? And then you realize it's them just doing stuff, like, opening a fridge and a cupboard door and a drawer and grabbing out cutlery. Yeah. It's 6 p.m. Sunday here right now. What are we at? We're at 10 a.m. Monday here. So yeah, it is. And it's just like, oh, because you're like, la, 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 everything's so quiet. And then all of a sudden it's like all these things happening and you're like, what is that? I think my brain's gone to hypervigilance because of the feeling of we're going with the cat's tail against my leg. So yeah, little Louis is having a good old snooze down here. Louis has been unwell, and I've had to start making him chicken and rice just so he'll eat. But hopefully he's turned a corner and he's feeling a lot better. It's really bad. I haven't been watching any horror movies. Do you know what? Horror movies is something I don't really get into. Like, it has to have a live stream consultants. That's just mean. That's just mean. Can you block an emoji is my question. Can I add an emoji to my blocked words list? I probably can. But yeah, horror movies and like graphic violence, I don't tend to watch a lot of. I like more, I don't know. Like, I got no issues if a show insinuates violence or things like that. Like, but they cut away from it right at that point. But I can't deal with like gore, if that makes any sense. So I don't tend to watch a lot of those. And jump scare movies. Jump scare things just stress me out. They stress me out so much. You can't craft while you're watching a show that makes you jump and drop stitches. You just can't. Excellent point. Excellent point. It's okay to hear the noises, but if you hear that eerie music, you run. I agree. Absolutely. Now my husband's probably just like scary horror music on his phone or something, just to creep us all out. But yes, you're right. Absolutely. In saying that, there's been a couple of shows that I really, really love, like Constantine, right? Keanu Reeves. And I suppose it's a little bit jump scary and it's a little bit graphic, but it's not crazy amounts of either. It's a phenomenal story, right? And in saying that, Deadpool, the original Deadpool, and like if you've been around, you might have heard me talk about it. That movie is full on, right? But because of all the comedic relief throughout it, it seemed to just be like you just get into this point that's just like, oh my gosh. And then it's just like, boom, a comedy line, and you just find yourself laughing. And it's like it takes the tension off the. Anyway, I thought it was really well done. And that's probably, we need more comedy, violent shows. No, we don't. We don't. But you know what I mean. Oh dear. That's like, I don't even know what I'm saying now. Because like, I enjoyed that movie, but it still ticked gratuitous violence and very graphic. But I still liked it. Yeah, it's like when you're swimming and that tune for Jaws jumps into your head. We used to play it occasionally on the intercom. Used to play it occasionally to your intercom to a commercial divers back in the working days. That's mean. Just sticking that in their heads like they're down there. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But yes, I lived on Stradbroke Island for part of, like, when there was a Jaws movie marathon had been on TV, and I didn't swim for a couple of days. I'd already seen sharks in the water. I knew they were there. But I was like, I'm not, divers think they're tough. Ha ha ha. Come up as white as a ghost. Freaking out. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious, Russell. That's gold. That's so good. That'd be something an Aussie would do, I reckon. Oh, that's oh, I'm gonna tell my husband about that one. He'll have a good laugh. Chantelle's not old enough to remember everyone staying out of the ocean in California beaches after Jaws came out. I'm probably not, to be honest, because when did Jaws originally come out? But I can imagine that would have been very stressful for people. Because, yeah, that was really effective if they had a hangover. Should they have been diving if they had a hangover? Isn't there rules about that? What year did Jaws come out? When did Jaws come out? 75. All right. Yeah, no, I wasn't born. But yes, it says November 75. Oh, in Australia, it came out in November 75. Yeah. But yeah, 1975, yeah. But yeah, I can imagine, like, because the quality of that movie was pretty dang good. Like, if you think about that, like we kind of joke about it now, but the props and the videography that they used for the time was freaking awesome. They made it like work so well. I'm not surprised people stayed out of the water. I mean, like in the late 80s, I stayed out of the water after I watched it. You know, like it's just what you did. Ah, frankly, I would worry about divers that didn't have a hangover. Fair enough. Okay. But yeah, it was yeah. I was starting in high school and I still remember when William Shatner had real hair. Oh gosh. I mean, see, I'm a Star Trek girl, so I've rewatched a lot of next gen of like the original series, but he was already famous for other things before that, wasn't he? Like Star Trek was not William Shatner's breakout. Well, at least I don't think it was. Let me have a look. Oh yeah, so that's the thing. He was already it wasn't his breakout. So, yeah. It was probably more one of his sort of bigger shows or one of his regular shows, but it was not his breakout career. Oh, hello. What are you doing? Do you mind? Keep going. Look, you're all scruffy. Everyone can see how scruffy you are. Keep going. Keep going. No, you can't sit on. You cannot sit there. That's where my stream deck is. Seriously. What are you doing? Anyway, strange cat. He's a little old man cat. He just sort of does what he wants to do. That's correct. He'd done a lot of other things. Yeah. It's kind of like Patrick Stewart. A lot of people are like, oh, wow, he started late in life. And it's like, no, dude. Patrick Stewart was like awesome already in so many things. James Wedmore is building his own Star Trek home theater. Said he just bought a full-size fiberglass statue of one of the characters. Wow. Like, I'm a massive Star Trek fan. I don't know if I'd do that. Even if I was an 11 billionaire. I don't know if I would. I mean, I really like a replica of the bridge and sit there and have my patterns on the con and lean back in those comfy chairs and just watch shows on the big that could be good. Maybe I would. Maybe I would do that if I was an 11 billionaire. And I would hire in like the stage crew to build it. Like if I was an 11 billionaire. The whole theater is Star Trek theme. Wow. That's pretty cool. And that's one of the things, right? If you've sorted out your finances and you've sorted out your life, you can spend money on things that make you happy. And if it makes him happy, I am chuffed. That's awesome. Live stream consultants, I remember seeing my brain wanted to say Patrick Stewart, William Shatner, on the Twilight Zone with Rod Sterling. I remember watching some Twilight Zones when I was younger. My mum used to because my mum used to watch like a lot of like Star Trek Twilight Zones, a lot of funny shows like the young ones and stuff like that. And V. Do you guys remember V, the TV series? Anyway, I was too young for all of that stuff, right? Except I was also a kid and naughty, and you could sneak down the hallway. And if you just sat in the right spot in the hallway and just leaned just a little bit, you could see the TV through mum and dad's chairs. And I remember having the absolute life scared out of me because I sat down. I thought it was Young Ones night because I love the young ones. They crack me up and trying really hard not to laugh loudly or laugh at all. So that mum and dad didn't turn around and see you there because you get in trouble. But I remember freaking out because it happened to be V instead of the young ones. And I just sat down and there was like dialogue happening. And then someone's just grabbed the other person's face and ripped, and it showed them to like the lizard skin under their face. And I just remember freaking out. I think I was like 8. And I just like freaked like out. Like my mum like jumped up and turned the lights on. And yeah, I remember that. I got in a lot of trouble as well. Shatner did old westerns too. So did Leonard Nimoy and the Doctor. Oh, wow. I didn't know about the westerns. I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't know about... Yeah, Shatner's 94 now. I have a photo with myself and a friend. We went to a Comic-Con. He came out to the first Brisbane Comic-Con, and so did we. So we went, and it was sort of my first experience with like those sorts of photo ops, and I didn't realize you didn't get to even say like more than hello. And he didn't respond back. You basically had someone else go, stand there, look at the camera, smile, click, and that was it. And that was my first experience. So I was also a bit like, oh, okay, that was very fast for $11 billion. Cool, all right. And then later on in the day, I had another photo op, and I was expecting it to be sort of, okay, like I know what I got to do now. I know what I got to do. I just got to go in, get ready, take my photo, and leave. And it was not the same experience at all. It was totally different. It was just like, because I'd gone through one of the lines and gotten a signature with one of the actors that was in this other one. Like it was a little group photo with the cast of another show. And she remembered me from that line and was just like, oh, you made it to the end of the day, blah, blah, blah. And you know, it was just, it was a totally different experience. So I don't know, different levels of stardom as well. I might say the lines were very different lengths. So maybe it was just the organizers just like, we sold like a zillion tickets for this. So no one gets to say, and he was just sort of sitting there. He was sitting on a chair. So yeah. DeForest Kelley passed away at 79 in 99. Yeah. Is Dawn gone now as well, I think? I think all that we've got left out of the original cast is Shatner and oh my gosh. Sulu? What's his name? The guy who played Sulu. I follow him on socials because he's funny. Oh, Walter Koenig's still alive. Yes. He was on he played a really good role over on Babylon 5 as well. I really loved Hikaru Sulu. George Takei. That's who I'm thinking of. George Takei. So yeah, you got you got George Takei, Walter Koenig, William Shatner. I think we lost. I don't know. This is very off topic. I'm very sorry. I'm just seeing if Nichelle Nichols is still around. And no, everyone ages up. Oh no, she did. She passed away in 2022. I thought I read that. But yeah. I was actually just watching an interview. There's like all these interviews happening with like the Next Generation crew. And there was like Whoopi Goldberg was there, and they were talking about how Whoopi got her role on the show. And I thought that was a really interesting story as well. So if you haven't seen that, Google that. But yeah, just, I don't know. I like all these sorts of shows. And I suppose I like these better than scary, jump scare kind of horror shows. I don't know. I like, but in like everything else, I like that we have options, that we get to choose. Like, I like to watch science fiction, and generally positive science fiction. I don't tend to watch so much of this sort of dystopian science fiction. In saying that, I do watch some of it. But you get to watch what you like. If you want to watch westerns, if you want to watch horror, if you want to watch thrillers. And I like that we've got so much choice. I think it's wonderful. I do. And I think, yeah, I think it's cool. Livestream consultant says, can't wait for Captain 7 to take command. Look, I don't know if it's going to happen, right? Like, Star Trek Legacy is something that a lot of people want. But for some reason, the networks aren't keen on it. I don't know. But that would be amazing. That would be amazing for that to happen. And all you hear is like, you know, that the actors get asked constantly, like, would you be up for it? And they're all like, yes, we would. And then, you know, all of a sudden be like, oh, such and such says that they will do this role. And it's just like, yeah, but that's not news, right? Russell says, I like BritBox, nothing like that from AU that I have found. No, I don't think there is. I like BritBox as well. I have BritBox too. Look, I'm going to lay this out there. I think Australian television drama has been left in the dirt. We had some phenomenal shows for a long time that were really good. And they just don't make them. They just keep making reality TV stuff, which I don't watch at all. I don't watch any reality TV. I don't like it. And we had some phenomenal series that were being made. Like, so there was some period drama stuff, there was some current stuff. And I go through and rewatch the old stuff like Blue Heelers and Water Rats and Friday Fisher's Murder Mysteries and like, what's his name? Lots of others that are like that. And I really enjoy those, but we just don't make them. There's just nothing like I don't like. I mean, I was about to say I don't understand why. It'll be money. But the sheer number of really good Australian actors that end up having to go to the US or to the UK just so they can be on TV shows because there's hardly any TV being made here. It just, I don't know. I don't know what that is, Wallace. But yeah, I don't know. Like, because you're right. I don't think there is anything like that coming out of Australia. And there's so many cool little dramas on there. I watch so much of it, really. We need another Farscape with the Henson Muppet people. That was such a fun show. That was filmed in Australia. You know, like, that was great. I may own all of those on DVD. Mustn't be a market for it. Everyone's watching Firebrook replays. Oh man. Look, and that's the thing, like, is there a market for it? Like, every single person I speak to misses good Australian drama. But is it just the kind of people I'm talking to? I don't know. Is the average Australian give a crap about Australian drama? I don't know. But I know my husband has started watching a lot less television and now watches a lot more like YouTube and streaming platforms, whereas he used to be more of a television watcher and now he's stepping away. And so I always look at like sort of like I'm more of a early adopter, whereas he is not. And to watch his progression into watching YouTube channels for his news, for all sorts of things now, and less of the television sort of stuff. Are you right there, mister? Or are you just going to sit there forever? What's going on? Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's about as good Australian drama we're getting now. I mean, that says a lot, right? Oh dear. But yeah, it's I don't know, because there's still good drama coming out of the US. A lot of the drama I do see is like, and it's probably because of the kind of stuff I like to watch. Is a lot of like the police dramas, and there's some Star Treks and stuff like that. I don't mind a police procedural. I like a CSI. I like an NCIS. I like all those. They're pretty cool. I actually love NCIS. I really enjoy that show. Um, I have not as yet watched the Tony and Ziva spin-off, so no spoilers. But yeah, I don't know. I think, like, how do I put this? Television is always been like having a big old whinge about like streaming services um and like they're stealing our viewers, YouTube's stealing our viewers. But it's like, what are you putting out for them to watch? It's like all the like people who are like, I don't get enough views on my videos. Well, what have you put out for people to watch? And it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Like, I look at what's available on the free to air, and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like I've missed anything. I'll have a little look every now and again, thinking maybe I've missed something, but I haven't. I haven't missed anything I can't watch on a streaming service when it comes to like NCIS and things like that. But there's nothing Australian that I want to watch that's on free to air. That, whereas I was that person. I would be like, I would plan my day around when, okay, I'm going to make my dinner for at this time so I can watch this show while I sit and have my tea. Make sure I'm not stuck in the kitchen cooking right now because I want to watch my show. I was that person. When the NCIS episodes drop, I look at the day, they were Fridays at like 9 a.m. I would make sure that I could watch it when it dropped and treat it like a TV show because it would drop once a week kind of thing. Or midday. I think it was midday, not 9 a.m. So I'd make sure my lunch, I was like, I'm having my lunch at midday today. Go and watch my show in the lounge. I kind of, it's nearly like I kind of miss that, like getting home from school, mucking around outside playing, doing a bit of homework and making sure it was all finished in time to watch Doctor Who on the ABC before Mum made dinner. Like these sorts of things. And we don't have that anymore. And they're like, oh, it's streaming services' fault. No, it's not. What are you putting out that I want to watch? Nothing. Because all that I'm seeing is either news or reality shows, like home building shows and Farmer Wants a Wife and Married at First. My daughter likes them, I suppose, but I have no interest in those shows whatsoever. It's the schedule you miss. Possibly. It possibly is the schedule I miss. It possibly is. Yeah. I know that like when I get right into a YouTube channel and I work out the schedule that they drop the videos in, I try to watch them not long after they're dropped if time zones line up. I try to do that. So maybe it is the schedule I miss. Let me know in the chat. Like, do you miss the schedule of TV? Or in saying that, I will still quite happily sit down and binge watch an entire series in a day on Netflix. Like, whatever. I'm currently watching Crossing Jordan, which is a Boston-based drama. What was she? She's a coroner. No, medical examiner. So I've just started rewatching that. I remember watching it on TV, so there's a bit of nostalgia there. I used to watch it every week. I feel like I must have missed some episodes because there's some that I have no recollection of. Doing the same thing with Stargate. I used to watch that every week on TV, watching it on the other show now. One of my BBD friends was a contestant on Farmer Wants a Wife. Interesting to hear behind the scenes. A friend of mine's a friend of mine's best friend's husband and wife, their son joined the show, and he hadn't told them he joined the show. They found out when they did that at-home meet the parents thing when he was setting that up, and they were mortified. But yeah. But that's the behind the scenes of stuff. You know, that's different than what's being put out onto the television. I just don't like the whole premise of the shows. I mean, I do and I don't. I kind of get the whole Farmer Wants a Wife one, really. Yeah, that's probably part of it, you know. Miss that we as a family would come together to watch it. Now it's just doing her own thing. But in saying that, there were shows that I wanted to watch as a kid that my brothers had zero interest in. So they'd be off doing their own thing and I'd sit there and watch it by myself. So I suppose that hasn't changed. Oh, wow. That's harsh, Russell. She's still being pestered by the farmer. Man, or you think she's still being pestered. Because that's crazy. Far out. Well, my friends, I really appreciate you coming and hanging out today and just having a chat and shooting the breeze. We talked about like so much stuff. There should be some pretty serious YouTube news out next week or within the next week with Made in YouTube being on this week. I'm very curious to see what's being dropped. I got a wish list of things. They're very boring, like tagging in comments. I'd love that to be a real thing for mobile users. I would also like for there not to be ads blocking the live stream chat for those watching on mobiles. I'd like that too. But I'd like there to be a YouTube video editor that was worth its salt. That's not for mobile. I don't edit on mobile. I'm old and my eyes are like, meh. I edit on the biggest screen I possibly can. So I would like a desktop editor, whether it's a web editor or whatever. I would like that. So yeah, they're my wish list things. I'm sure that none of those things will happen. It'll be stuff that's totally not relevant to me, as has been my experience the last few years. But I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I hope that you get some stuff done. Just get some stuff done. Yeah, that's the plan. All right, I'll catch you all next time. Better mod tools. Look, there's a couple of mod things. Like I was about to, but like, hang on, pull the seats back in, everybody. Mod tools. Look, I like most of the mod tools that we've got. I think they're pretty good for the scheme of things. But there's things that they could be doing better. Absolutely. Like, why are the managing moderator tools on mobile only? That's stupid. Put them on both. What? Why? Dumb. I think it's like, it just means I have to actually have my phone open as well because I mod from a desktop, because it's so much easier to mod from a desktop because you can't tag on mobile. Like, seriously, yeah. Like, bring them in, bring in the rants, bring in the, I've slid the soapbox in. Why the managing moderator tools on mobile only? I do not know. I think it is ridiculous. Solve that. And then the other thing that I probably would love, and it's a wish list thing, a back-end mod chat. Twitch can do it. Twitch have a back-end mod chat. When you're a mod on Twitch, there is a back chat for just the Twitch mods, and the actual streamer themselves can see it. So if something's going on, you can discuss it. But why can't YouTube have that? Like, I don't want leaderboard. Leaderboard's a steaming pile of horse crap. I want that gone. If I could turn that off, it'd be gone. I'm zero interest in leaderboard, and I just grr. But it is just infuriating to me that there are this suite of tools that just can't be used. And out of all the things they're stealing, or sorry, being inspired from other platforms, why can't we have these things? Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going to back away now before I get really grumpy, because I'm grumpy about this stuff. frustrates me no end. It really does. And I'm just like, these people are smart. These people are smart. And I don't understand why they cannot put the managing moderator tools on desktop. I obviously am not smart because I can't see why they won't do it. There's probably a valid reason, you know, but I don't know what it is. And it infuriates me. Oh, Doug has news about leaderboard. I really hope that I read somewhere that someone was able to turn their leaderboard off. And I really hope that that means that we'll be able to do that soon, that they're testing that, because I want to turn it off. I don't want it. So fingers are crossed that that's what the news is. Russell says, is this a clip on your Stream Deck? If not, cut this rant and tie to a button. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think I saw Doug asking the question about it, and then funnily enough, that's the other thing. I'd like the YouTube customer service people to have some knowledge of YouTube channels. I'm sure that they're perfectly nice people, but what I get frustrated by with the YouTube help portal people is when you ask a question and then they go, yes, here is the answer. And you're like, well, that doesn't answer the question that I just asked. That's not relevant to the question I just asked. I'm asking this question. And then they're like, yeah, sorry. Yeah, we understand this is important to you, but you just need to, read this document we sent. And that is not the right answer. It doesn't answer the question. That's when I get frustrated. I get very frustrated. I know they're people. I know they've got a job. I know they're answering literally thousands of questions a minute. I get it. But can you answer the questions correctly? Because we've got no other way to ask questions. Like, I'm sorry, not every channel has 100,000 subscribers and has access to like a YouTube channel manager. Where they can ask their questions and actually get an actual answer to it. Most channels don't have that. Don't have that access. So the people that we do have access to need to be able to answer the question properly. Or actually just go, look, you know what? We don't know. Let me look into that. Keep an eye out. It will try and put something out. Like, rather than go, this is the answer to not your question, actually go, you know what? I don't have an answer to that question. Because not knowing an answer isn't actually an answer. It's allowed. Because, yeah, Doug also got like a random response that did not make sense. Anyway. I know, Russell, right? Customer service people who understand the product. I know I'm asking for a lot. I get that. I get that. I really do. But yeah, I find it exceptionally frustrating. And I try not to let it come through, but I am very, very adept at angry typing. Because I'm just like, that was not the answer to my question. I'm actually asking this. So we need a chat command for crash and burn. Oh, yep. Enjoy editing chosen which one to use. Easy. I'm not sure if you're asking which editing software to use, you're just going to need to test a few. It's going to come down to what you want to edit on, because some editing softwares won't work on every device. It's going to come down to your skills as an editor. Some of them are very in-depth. You're digging a hole there, Louie. Okay. Some of them are very in-depth and a bit trickier. There's a lot. There's no what's the best editing software because it's so personalized. You are well past a short now, a few more minutes, and you can make a rant video out of this segment. Doug, my follow-up never got addressed either. I think as far as they're concerned, our question is answered. Yeah, a grr. Like fist waving. Oh my gosh, yes, no. There's some things that infuriate me. Like, YouTube talk about how many small creators there are, and only 3% of creators hit 10,000 subscribers. So that's less than 3% of channels have and like, what is it? It's like 0.1% of a channel hit 100,000. So there's only so many people that can actually get real human help, right? The rest of it's bot help or Twitter help. And they're both about as bad and good as each other, to be honest. Yeah, there is nothing you can do. You either continue to upload on their platform or you don't. They're your choices. They're your choices. It is frustrating as a small creator with the total lack of YouTube support. You know, I suppose I do expect my questions to be answered, but I don't ask my questions lightly. I have always Googled something first. I always go through the help, sections first. If I can't find it, if I can't find the answer, then I go and ask Team YouTube or Renee. I don't put in questions that a quick Google search answers. I'm sure that some people do. Oh no, Russell, at 30k subs, you don't either. It's not till you hit, I think it's 100k, or it might even be 1 million now. But when's a channel manager kick in? I think some people at 100,000, and it's not a guaranteed thing, but some people at 100,000 get access to a YouTube staff member who is a channel manager. They're called YouTube channel managers. They get access to those, and they usually, it used to be at 100,000 you could get access. You can't apply for it, nothing. You'll just one day get an email going, hey, you've been assigned a channel manager. And it's not until you get to these big, yeah, Justin's got one. It's not until you get to these larger scales. Yeah, that's right. There is no promised access point, and you cannot apply. Well, you can't apply until they've basically contacted you first. So yeah, so if they contact you, you can then go, yes, I would love a channel manager, thank you. Or they go, you've been assigned this person. But I think there's only 2 channel managers in Australia. And so they're dealing with all of the channels that are at this size. But yeah, I find the whole system a little bit perplexing. I really do. I would like to understand it better. And I think that's where my frustration comes from, that I don't, and there's no way for me to understand it better. I can't research it. I can't look it up. I can't read about it because there is nothing there. We just don't get to find out. This is the inside journey of YouTube. Unless you work at YouTube, you don't get to know any of this. So yeah, and that I find that frustrating. I don't like when I can't find out the answers. I find that very annoying. I like to be able to research the answers, right? I like to be able to look it up. And there's nothing to look up. Anyway, I'm really going to go now. I'll catch you all next week. Thanks for hanging out for that last little tantrum. I will catch you all next time. Bye now.